So I get a ton of questions from you guys asking me about how I was able to move to Europe, Ireland specifically, and how I was able to secure a residence permit after arriving in the country. Today I'm just going to be sharing that story with you guys, and I hope somebody out there learns something as usual. So arriving in this country, or before I arrived Ireland from Nigeria, I had to apply for a Class D visa, which is a long stay visa. Now the long stay visa is particularly for those who are going to be staying here after 90 days of arrival. When I got to the airport from Nigeria, the immigration officer at the border control asked me a series of questions like, what was I coming to the country to do, how long was I staying, what was my sponsor doing in the country, and what do I do for a living myself. After I had answered those questions satisfactorily, he issued a stamp on my passport that allowed me to be legal in the country for the next 90 days. After I had gotten married, I moved into Ireland to join my spouse here. He had lived here for a period of years, and then I joined him. We decided when I come into the country that it was okay for me to change my name here with the Nigerian embassy. Now the Nigerian embassy here takes a while for them to process your documents of whatever sort. I took my documents to them, took my passport to them. Remember that I had a stamp on my passport that was valid for only 3 months. I took that passport to them and it took a longer time. It took longer than 3 months. So you can imagine that I actually became illegal at some point. But then I went to the GNIB office to report myself and tell them that this is what is happening. I'm trying to change my name and my embassy is taking forever to get my documents sorted. So please, can you guys figure out a way to just give me more time? So they were like, okay, whenever I sort out my passport with my embassy, I can come back to them and they'll be able to issue me a stamp. After I had sorted out my change of name and my embassy, Nigerian embassy, had finally sent my passport down to me, then I moved down to GNIB office. It used to be this process where people had to wake up early in the morning, as early as 3 o'clock, and go stand on this very long queue. Guys, this queue was as long as my future. I am not kidding. My husband and I woke up early in the morning one day, and I remember feeling so out of place. I was like, oh my god, like it is freezing, and you have to go stand on this long queue, and people are just there waiting for somebody to come to their office at about 8 o'clock, 8:30 ish. Now the process has changed, thankfully, and people do not have to go through that torment. The first day we went there, I wasn't able to complete my documentation there because I did not have my marriage certificate, the original copy, not the duplicate. So the documents that I needed for the process to be complete were my international passport, which was now in my new name, my 300 euros, which is some money that we have to pay every year as foreigners in this country to be able to get our stamps on our passports. After the long day, it got to my turn, and then they were able to sort me out and give me a GNIB stamp, which was the stamp 3. Now the stamp 3 is given to a certain class of people who come into the country, and they are volunteers of non-profit based organizations, ministers of religion, and spouses of non-EEA or non-EU spouses, or if you're a member of a family of someone who is based here on a work permit. Now there are conditions that are placed on the stamp 3 visa, and those conditions are that you are not allowed to work in this country, and you are only allowed to stay in this country for the time stipulated on your passport. Now arriving in this country and hearing the news that I wasn't able to work made my entire world crash down, because in my mind I had already decided I was coming to develop myself professionally. I was coming to help my husband to build his home, for us to build a home together. I would be able to support him financially as a career woman. But when I got that news, my goodness, my entire life just went into zero mode. Anyways, that's story for another day. So something else that took me to the immigration office on the morning that I went there with my husband was to get a re-entry visa, which allows you to travel in and out of the country at will if you are a non-EEA or EU member of the country. That one, there are different types of the re-entry visa. There's the single entry visa and there is the multiple entry visa. The single entry visa is about 60 euros and the multiple entry visa is about 100 euros, which you have to get as a postal order from the post office. So that basically wraps my story about how I was able to move down to Ireland and how I was able to secure a residence permit to be able to live in this country legally. I hope this video has been helpful to somebody out there, and if it has, please make sure you share with your friends and you like this video and you subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys on my next video, and thank you so much for watching. Slanja.